All right, so here it is, the big reveal. The biggest reveal is basically just the color. We were contemplating silver, red, we even talked about white and charcoal gray. This is a wrap that is called satin dark gray. And just wanted to do this video to walk around this truck and highlight the build and the whys and the whats. So stay tuned. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what this build is all about, why Dirt King designed this kit, and what probably the ideal use for this setup is overall in general. 2018 GMC Sierra Denali 6.2 liter. The original owner of this truck was told by Dirt King, Greg to be specific, to order this truck in two-wheel drive so that he did not have to mess with transfer case and front differential issues and some other problems that come with having a four-wheel drive as your platform. So he ordered this truck in two-wheel drive, which is also very rare to find, and they did the build. So let's just get into what's in here. All right, starting off, we have the Dirt King race kit, King shocks, bypasses, and it's also got bumps down on the lower control arm. There is a crossover that goes from the upper shock mount over the top of the engine to the other side of the truck to stabilize the shock towers. The rear kit is Dirt King's Ultra 4, which is basically a link kit. And this is kind of the meat and potatoes of this build, because you get away from leaf springs and you get a coilover and a bypass for adjustability. This particular system is designed around an upper and lower link per side with a panhard bar that goes from passenger over to driver to stabilize the axle left to right. By doing this, you don't have the typical wishbone style upper links, and you get to retain the factory fuel tank. And by retaining the factory fuel tank, reliability is probably the single biggest thing. You know, a lot of aftermarket fuel pumps have been known to fail, and some don't, but that is definitely an issue people have. And smog legal, so there are ways around that nowadays with aftermarket fuel cells, and retaining smog legal is a little bit more work. But the idea was to get a kit that would keep the factory fuel tank, get you linked with 20 inches of travel, and get that performance, and keep a lot of your stock components with GM as far as fuel system, electronics, and whatnot. So yeah, if something goes wrong with this truck, it's not running or whatever the issue is, you roll it right into the dealership, they plug it in and figure it out, versus having to go to a race shop to diagnose your issue, because everything electronically on this truck is pretty much stock. Let's talk about bodywork. Alright, so this has got Fiberworks front fenders and a Fiberworks valance. It's all 6-inch over from stock, and they are also Fiberworks bedsides, 6 inches as well. This valance is made of carbon fiber, So this is part of that vinyl overlay that we cut out. The boys at Triton Imaging, shout out to Frank over there and his boys. They did an amazing job on this wrap, by the way, but I'll kind of cover that in another video. And this bumper kind of started off life as one of Dirt King's bumpers, but the previous owner made some modifications to it, and it's got a little different look and shape to it from what Dirt King originally had. 4 tabs on it for LP9s. Let's see, coming around the side here, we are still going to paint these, by the way. Cut out bedside for exhaust. It is spray lined over the top of the bed rails. Dirt King rear plate bumper. This is also going to get a hitch, which I will share that on my Instagram, where the hitch will hang down here, and that'll be mostly for a bike rack, as you typically don't want to be towing anything heavy when you have coilovers. They don't respond as well as like a leaf spring truck does, so just depends on how much weight it is. All right, let's talk wheels and tires. All right, so these are KMC forged wheels. They are called the Impact. They're 17 by 9, 4.5-inch back spacing, and they are amazing. Probably my favorite wheel of all time. These are definitely gonna stick around for a while. Ended up going with 38's. First time I've ran 38's on a Prerunner. I've had 37's, 39's, 40's. This was just a really good fit, and it made sense. These are the Nitto Trail Grappler MTs. Pretty aggressive tire. Yeah, they are a 1350. But as far as fitting with the bodywork, lining up with the fenders, just giving it that look, I just couldn't see putting 1250s on here. 37s just felt a little too small, and I felt like 39s were just a little too big. So here we are at 38s. There's 6. There's 4 in the truck. 1 as a spare, and I have an extra spare for when I decide to run dual spares. All right, let's talk about some of the accessories and lighting and whatnot. First of all, rugged radios, the new M1. Switch Pros SP9100 switch panel. Otherwise, this is a bone stock interior. Well, other than, of course, mob armor mount. No Prerunner should be in the desert without it. Pretty self-explanatory here, but 4 LP9s in the front, 2 ambers, 2 whites. I was gonna run 2 S2s here. I'm kind of digging this carbon fiber look, so yeah, that's to be determined. And then in the back, there's 2 amber S2s and 1 white S2 and the 3rd brake light, along with the antenna mount you can see right there on top. So that's plenty of dust lighting. This also has a CBR trans cooler, kind of hard to see. There it is. And of course a fan that is operated off the Switch Pros. All right, here's some more of the accessories. Like I mentioned before, here's the 1 spare. If you run dual spares, you'd have to lean it and then do another Y strap and some sort of tie down, or could do like a 454 Motorsports Charlie cage would fit in here and run 2 verticals. CO2 tank, 10 pound, and you can't see it, but there is a Pro Eagle beast jack under the spare. So the jack has the handle in it, and I keep the lug wrench under the seat, so you have everything to change out a spare. 30 Dynamics has these umbrellas. That's the mount for it. Much as I didn't think I would ever use one of those, I 100% have used it twice already, and they are amazing. The whip mounts used to be here, and they stuck up, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't clean. I didn't like it. I mean, this thing even had S2s mounted here as well that were completely redundant, because those are plenty, and I got rid of those. I just wanted a cleaner look across the bed, so I'm putting the whip mounts where they're supposed to be, in these brackets right here that were designed and installed by Dirt King for a reason. The wiring for them will come through this hole and be proper, so I'll make a little video about that later. So I also kind of want to talk about what's the overall purpose of a build like this. And when we talked about why the Ultra 4 Link is designed the way it is and so on, but let's talk about the performance aspect of this truck. And just for good reference, in comparison's sake, there's plenty of Chevy Silverados, GMC Sierras out there running around with race kits on them. The majority of them are leaf sprung in the back, and with those leaf springs, you know, unless it's sprung under or it's really shock tuned well, it's really hard to hit the whoops. It's hard to hit big bumps without getting bucked. Take it from somebody who's tried it 10 different ways, and it just doesn't work. So the idea behind this was to get that linked truck performance without having to cage the truck. So I've had 3 off-road trips on this so far, 2 to Glamis and 1 to King Hammers. And I can tell you right now, and this comment will probably stir it up with people, but this truck works like a linked truck. So there you have it. So yeah, with a cage and that chassis stiffness, sure. Would that be better? 100%. But does this truck way outperform a leaf spring truck? Leaps and bounds, miles. Wife and I cruising this thing through the whoops. Each time we do it, we go faster and faster, and we are always surprised about how well this thing works. So the idea is you've still got your daily Prerunner, super clean street rig that you can drive to the dunes or to the desert and smash the whoops and not slow down like I've had to do in many of my Chevy builds and even my Raptors. This thing gets right over the top of them. It's very impressive. You'd have to see it to believe it, I suppose. That probably leads into some people saying, well, now you're going too fast and it's unsafe and you should be caged and so on and so forth. And yeah, we could get into all that, you know, waving loaded guns around is pretty unsafe as well. So you gotta be smart, you know, drive it smart. We took this thing to Glamis and took it out to swing set. You know, I did that with 39-inch projects on it, which are not good sand tires, and it made it no problem. That was actually a blast. So multi-purpose truck. Take the family to dinner, go off-roading all you want, all in one rig, no trailer required. So that's my spiel on this. All right, that about wraps it up on this truck. Overall, I've been super happy with this thing off-road. The performance just blows my mind every time. And it really checks all the boxes. So I just wanted to share it with you guys, give you some updates, and little bit more about what the truck's all about. You know, if you could, we'd like to get this channel going, so like this video, comment down the bottom, tell me what you think of this thing, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.